Revelator Aggregator. So since I started this channel, I've hesitated to make this confession because, quite frankly, I've been embarrassed about it. In 2004 or 2005, somewhere in there, when I was still lost and fallen away from Jesus Christ and Father God, and when I was much younger and more naive and less woke, I joined Freemasonry. There, I said it. And I never felt super good or comfortable about it. It didn't sit right with me. That didn't stop me from getting swept up a little bit. I didn't ever do Scottish Rite or York Rite, so I was essentially just a porch mason, as they say. But the state that I joined in, you could join the Shriners without having done Scottish Rite or York Rite. So I did that. About everybody I met on the porch of Masonry appeared to be good, solid dudes. So I don't have any inside information, and I didn't meet anybody that appeared to be overtly sinister. And as for the shrine, I went to a couple shrine club meetings, maybe one shrine club meeting. The organization itself, the state organization, lost my address because I moved shortly thereafter, and I never paid any dues, so I'm sure I'm no longer a Shriner. And even back in those days, I was flirting with the truth community. Like, I read Mike Rupert's Crossing the Rubicon, The Decline of the American Empire at the End of the Age of Oil, all about 9/11. But in about 2012, 2013, 2014, I started waking up hard. Listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos, listening to audiobooks on all kinds of esoteric, far out conspiracy theory type topics. And it gradually began to dawn on me that the superstructure built upon the Blue Lodge or porch of Masonry was very sinister and very Luciferian. And again, this is based entirely on my research, not on anything that I learned in the Blue Lodge. In fact, I've since discovered that everything they tell you in the Blue Lodge is a lie. The way they explain everything, all the allegory and symbolism, and then in the later degrees, they're like, oh yeah, we lied to you. This is what it really means. Which doesn't sound like much of a fraternity or a brotherhood to me, if they're going to be lying to me from Jump Street. And then I looked into Albert Pike, who was like a hardcore Luciferian. I believe he was a Confederate general, and he was a high-ranking Freemason who wrote a book called Morals and Dogma that basically talked all about how Freemasonry was Luciferianism. And then Manly P. Hall, who was another high-ranking Mason, wrote lots of books where he talked about how the goal of the secret societies and Masonry and all this stuff was the perfection of humankind through its own intellect and its own works, which is textbook Luciferianism. So several years ago, I quit paying my dues to my home lodge, and then this past year, I think it was last year now, they sent me a letter saying that if I didn't get them paid, they were going to take me off their membership rolls, and I just didn't respond. I suppose I could have responded and said, yes, please take me off the membership rolls, but I got busy, and I've got a family, and I didn't do that. But I've felt like I owed God more to just verbally, openly reject that stuff, so I reject it right now. I don't own that. That's not who I am. I was misguided. I was deceived. And I renounce and reject Freemasonry. I've asked God for forgiveness, and I've asked God to break any kind of strongholds down that I let get built up in my life and my heart because of Freemasonry. Also, I didn't feel like I was being totally honest with my audience, because one of the main goals of this channel is to push the truth and only the truth, the biblical truth, as I understand it. And I don't have any hidden agendas, and I'm not trying to send any kind of secret coded hoogie boogie messages, and I just felt like I owed my audience honesty. So if knowing that I used to be a Freemason causes you to unsubscribe and not trust me, that hurts my heart and it grieves me, because the point of this video is to come clean and confess and go and sin no more. So I haven't been trying to hide it from you. I've just been ashamed of my lack of discernment and the fact that I was deceived when I was a young man into joining what I now realize to be hoogie boogie, mystery school foolishness. And to any former Masonic brothers of mine that hear this and may be offended, I bear you all no ill will. I think you all are deceived, and I pray that you will open your eyes and realize that Freemasonry's hoogie boogie foolishness, but I bear you all no ill will. So, Father God bless you all. Jesus Christ saves. Stay positive.